This video is about climate dynamics. What does that mean? And why does it matter? Our Earth is a complex place. Everything is in relationship with everything else, all the time, everywhere. So when the climate began to warm several decades ago, the natural tendency was to address each cause, as though they were separate. Methane. CO2. Greenhouse gases. Deforestation. We did what we naturally always do. We looked for causes and began to try to mitigate their effects. Trouble is, this model misses the most important aspect of the whole issue. What is that? The dynamics of the system. Individual points are easy. Drive electric cars. Go solar. Regulate coal mining. Drive less. But as we do this, an enormous opportunity is being ignored. That opportunity is our ability to understand and manage the dynamics. What does this mean? By my count, there are over 30 aspects to the climate crisis. Melting ice. Rising seas. Loss of biodiversity. Increases in human migration. Plankton dying. And you know what? If you asked the average person to draw a circle chart to show these and other elements, most people could do it. But most people would miss the most important fact. All of these parts are connecting to and are affecting all of the other parts. Not just some of the parts. All of them. So what is there to do? The answer is to break the links among the system parts. Not just manage the parts themselves. What does this look like? The answer to that is yet to unfold. One hint is that it will involve a shift in shared human values. The emergence of a new myth. And a shift in the consciousness of Earth itself. And a high-level shift in human identity. This shift, sometimes called a love shift, is the only way to overcome the inertia of our climate problem. In the absence of a change in thinking, the climate fix method will eventually fail. That may sound like bad news, but actually, this shift to a new shared myth is really good news. It's something we need to do anyway. It's how we are originally designed to be. It is a new form of truth, beauty and goodness. And it's collaboration. As they say, if you want to be good, do what you should. If you want to be great, collaborate. This video is a partial list of the many parts to our climate change puzzle. As has been noted elsewhere, these elements are interacting. This produces the dynamics of global warming. And the danger we face to our survival. Here is the list of the interacting parts, both physical and social. 1. Melting sea ice. 2. Forest loss. 3. Ocean current change. 4. Oceans heating. 5. Soils overheating. 6. Water vapor increasing. 7. Methane release. 8. Nitrous oxide buildup. 9. Carbon buildup. 10. A decrease in the albedo effect, ability of the Earth to reflect heat. 11. Plankton dying. 12. Sea level rise. 13. Shrinking glaciers. 14. Flooding. 15. Wildfires. 16. Increase in volcanic activity. 17. Increased heat. 18. Droughts. 19. Less food. 20. Desertification. 21. Water costing more. 22. Loss of biodiversity. 23. Mass migrations. 24. Marine death. 25. Rises in conflict and wars. 26. Financial loss and collapse. 27. Animal attacks. 28. Rise in disease and pandemics. 29. National instability. 30. Economic loss. 31. Loss of lakes and rivers. 32. Deaths from the rise in city temperatures. 33. Power outages due to loss of hydroelectricity. 34. Rise in wars. 35. Increases in international instability. 36. Rise in the risk of nuclear war. These and other elements are interacting, which produces a complex system. Complex systems have inertia and are very difficult to change. And complex systems escalate on their own. Once the system begins to function, hundreds of positive feedback loops become active. Just like the military-industrial complex, the system now requires greater and greater amounts of energy to manage it. Ultimately, the complex system will hit a tipping point. For climate, this has been estimated to occur when there are 450 ppm carbon in the atmosphere, or when the surface temperature rises over 2.0 degrees Celsius over pre-industrial levels. And, if we tip, it will drive our species to extinction. Why? Because the post-tip complexity will take off. 2.0 will increase to 4.0. Then 6.0. And then 8.0. At 8.0 degrees Celsius, all mammals will be dead. No survivors. That's all of us, gone. Forever. There is no recovery from 8.0. And, 2.0 will go on to 8.0 once it tips. There is no stopping it. So what are we to do? First, we need to see all of this with new eyes. Then, we need to get these facts out to every human on Earth. 2.0 equals 8.0. Period. Where are we now? We are currently at 1.2 degrees Celsius. Heading to 1.5, with our foot on the accelerator, as Al Gore said. And, as he and others have warned us, 1.5 is too lax. Too easy. Too dangerous. The 36 interacting parts noted above produce a number. It's called 36 factorial. This is a massively large number. It is the total number of possible interactions. Bottom line. We need a total shift in thinking, right now, if we wish to survive. No exceptions. Right now. The Big Die. What could this mean? We humans are in the fight of our lives. Individually, and far more dangerously, collectively. Why? Because the universe that we are birthed into is integrated at every level. Everything is in relationship with everything else, everywhere, all the time. Even a single thought is felt by the whole. As they say, all is one. So what does that mean for us and for survival? Just this. The condition of oneness has been our friend. Our resource. The benevolent engine for change. If you study the evolution of life on Earth, the unmistakable feature that stands out is the unifying nature of the event. We make each other real. We are a cosmic family. We are one. So what does that mean, and why is it important now? Here is the answer. The very integrated nature of life can also be its most perilous downfall. As we crawl higher and higher on the food chain, our need for quality relationships rises exponentially. Obviously, from this perspective, all war is obsolete. And, as the climate belongs to all of us, each of us must take full responsibility for its condition. There is no more, leave it up to government, or science, or the other guy. It is our climate. And, like it or not, we either learn to love it or we will die. I repeat. Unless we learn to live together, we will die together. And the cosmos is not going to step in and rescue us. Period. So what are we to do? Collaborate. Work together to make a difference. And never assume that someone else can do it for us. Just like breathing, consciousness is each of our personal responsibilities. Right now more than ever. LoveShift. www.loveshift.com. Deep truthing. What could this mean? We talk about deep thinking. Looking for long-term solutions. Expanding and extending our level of concern. Thinking outside the box. And soul-searching. The trouble is, by remaining in the sphere of thinking, very little change occurs. So what must we do? What is missing? The answer is a total realignment, individually and collectively, with the essential deep truth of the cosmos. Not the existential realities of government, or banks, or science or even religion. By deep truthing, it is meant that we adopt the universe itself. Its purpose, design, trajectory, will and essence. We become one with the cosmos. And Earth. And humanity. And each other. Collectively. Together. As one spirit. With good will. For the benefit of all life. In doing so, we become as wise and loving as the system that produced us. We make love the prevailing human function. We uncouple nationhood from geography and emerge what has been called, Earth nationhood. And we accept that all war is obsolete. So why is the meme deep truthing, rather than deep truth, you might ask? Here is the answer. Truth is a thing. A reality. It does exist, but until it is fulfilled by sentient beings, collectively, it remains static. Just a concept. Like a book upon a shelf. Or a static web page. What we need now, if we wish to survive, is a radical shift in identity, relationship and culture. We need to do this, not just understand this. What does that mean? It means shifting from egocentricity to love. Literally becoming one with love. Each of us. All of us. Now. Together. For eternity. LoveShift. www.loveshift.com. Working together we can make a difference. This video is going to be about our climate. And a new way of thinking about it. We talk about 1.5 degrees Celsius. This is the temperature limit set by over 180 nations at the Paris Climate Conference in 2016. But there is a problem. This limit is too high. It is too loose to solve our problem. Let me explain. I believe we would be very wise to change how we think about the climate. It seems to me there are 4 zones. The pre-climate change zone. The pre-1.5 degree zone. The 1.5 to 2.0 degrees transition zone. And the post-2.0 degrees dynamics zone. The first zone is pre-industrial life on Earth. No cars, no factories, and no global warming. This extended from way back, to about the beginning of the 20th century. Then, we became industrial, and started to push carbon into the atmosphere at increasing rates. And we began an unprecedented rate of change in our population. The age of the automobile was upon us. And we read, for the first time, about the greenhouse effect. We began to warm. Al Gore warned us. And we ignored the situation. And watched Earth's temperature rise. Up, up, up. So then our leaders met in Paris and over 700 scientists told them that Earth is warming, and that humans are the cause. So here we are, still racing toward that magical 1.5 degrees Celsius limit. Trouble is, the dynamics of climate change are already kicking in now. Fires in California. Tornadoes in Texas. Lakes drying up. Rivers going dry. And cities seeing unprecedented temperatures. 115 degrees in Phoenix. 118 in Sacramento. Up, up, up. We are already in the transition zone. The transition zone does not begin at 1.5, as was assumed in Paris. It is already here, and we are only at 1.1 or 1.2 degrees Celsius. The Paris Agreement is wrong. Too lax. Too soft. Too hot and too high. We need to set the new limit at 1.2. Period. Right now. No maybes. 1.2 is the new 1.5. Alarm, alarm, alarm. There is no way around this. Right now we are on the brink. Let's realign our thinking to 1.2 degrees Celsius. Permanently. Today.
This video is about scrubbing. Scrubbing is what computers do in the healthcare industry to scan insurance claim forms. What happens is that, when a doctor's office submits a claim, the computer program scrubs it to see if all the numbers make sense. If everything is done correctly, the claim gets processed and paid. If there is anything wrong, then the whole claim form is pulled out for human review. The goal of the medical insurance industry is to achieve maximum positive scrubbing, to reduce friction and get the practitioner and the patient paid. So what does this have to do with life on Earth, LoveShift, and the quest by humans for meaningful survival? Just this. We exist within a system called the universe. This place is a single, multi-form, emerging energy event. Everything we think, say and do is scrubbed against the design of this context. If we are well adapted, our actions add up, and we get paid, meaning we will have a meaningful experience of life. If we fail to match the conditions, or refuse to be scrubbed, all hell breaks loose. Agreeing to be scrubbed is a fundamental requirement for emergent, evolutionary thought. What do we need to understand and comply with, you might ask? Here are a few answers, among an infinite set of others. The wisdom, intelligence and simplicity of the system. The values, intention and beauty of the system. The truth, functionality and goodness of the system. The design, trajectory and purpose of the system. The mystery, meaning and authority of the system. The identity, responsibility and will of the system. The culture of the system. The love of the system. As can be seen, this is not a simple to-do list. But, with the pressures we are facing, the internet, and the ability we have to communicate with one another, we have a good chance to work this out. If we manage to align ourselves, individually and collectively, with the wisdom of the cosmos, we will have a future worthy of being human. If we fail to align, or choose to not see the implications of our attitudes, the outcome will not be good. Want to learn more? Visit www.loveshiftblog.com and www.loveshift.com. P.S. Want a few practical examples of being successfully scrubbed? Recognizing that all war is obsolete. Realizing that the only reliable resource for security in the world today is relationship. Seeing that the most dangerous aspect of climate change is its dynamics. Understanding that, making consciousness the independent variable, is mathematically required if we want to survive. And, understanding that relationship is the master organizing principle of the cosmos. These, and many others, are the perpetual, ancient truths, which we must internalize and make real. We are one. All is one. LoveShift. Working together, we can make a difference.
The Axes Shift diagram of LoveShift. www.loveshiftblog.com. This video is made to answer a single question. What must we do in order to survive? The proposition of the video is that, in the absence of a shift in consciousness, we will not be able to move forward as a humanity. Where have we come from? Where are we going? And what must we do to have meaningful survival? These questions have challenged humans for many generations. One thing is now apparent. The existing paradigm is not working anymore. What does this mean? One way to answer this question is to observe how consciousness changes over time. To do this, we need to use a thing called a functional diagram. Functional diagrams show how one thing changes as a function of something else. The thing that changes first is called the independent variable, and is graphed on the horizontal or x-axis. The thing that changes second, as a function of the first thing, is called the dependent variable, and is usually graphed on the vertical y-axis. Eat more cheeseburgers, x-axis, and you will gain weight, y-axis. Spend money you don't have, x-axis, and your credit score will suffer, y-axis. The point is that the value of y depends on the amount of x. Okay, back to time and consciousness. Let's look at the LoveShift diagram, and see how it might contribute to our understanding of what we need to do to have meaningful survival. Looking at the Axes Shift diagram, and the image on the left of these three panels, one can see that, as we have evolved over the years, time has been the independent variable, on the horizontal, or x-axis, and consciousness, c, on the vertical or y-axis, has been dependent upon it. What that means is that, for millennia, as time chugged along, consciousness went up. This has worked for thousands of years. Unfortunately, it won't work anymore. Why? Look again at the diagram. See that red line, in the left panel, called the asymptote? That line is a mathematical limit to the function. Because the function is exponential, it cannot continue beyond it. We will not be able to succeed without a radical shift. In things like identity, relationship and culture. Our old way of thinking is over. Obsolete. Done. Finished. Forever. So what are we to do? Shift the axes. And make consciousness the independent variable, with the future dependent on it. If this is done collectively, we can create a new function, which will evolve and serve us as we move into the future. It has been shown that, when individuals claim that their consciousness is now first cause, and their consciousness is collectivized, great amounts of energy are released for action. Visit www.loveshiftblog.com to learn more. LoveShift. Working together, we can make a difference. P.S. Let's look back at the LoveShift diagram again. See that green line? That's our consciousness, deciding to make the shift. Will we decide? Will we all decide together? Consciously? Collectively? If we do, we could form a global community with a culture that works for the benefit of all life. Please note, there are profound implications of making the love shift. Some examples are radical new levels of individual responsibility, radical new levels of social responsibility, global patriotism, expanded and extended levels of concern, seeing with new eyes, understanding that all war is obsolete, long-term thinking at every level, becoming as wise and loving as the system that produced us, a new understanding of the dynamics of climate change, new appreciation for the value of community, new definitions of words like family, sacred and subject, new practical forms of love, for Earth, ourselves and each other. The emergence of relationship as the most reliable resource for security in the world today. The emergence of collective mysticism, distributed functionality and the human array. A new orientation of humanity for the benefit of all life. A new understanding of our place in the universe, as the living context for everything we think, say and do. A collective alignment with the truth that all is one. A practical awareness that everything is in relationship with everything else, all the time, everywhere. And many others. Is shifting the axes, making consciousness the independent variable, going to be easy? Probably not. Is it essential? Absolutely. Is it good? Yes. And, because the changes implied by the shift are in alignment with the deep design and principles of the cosmos, they will help us move, successfully, individually and collectively, into a better, safer, more meaningful future. Want to learn more? Visit LoveShift, www.loveshiftblog.com. As humans, our highest purpose is to discover, live and communicate what is needed to achieve a world that functions for the benefit of all life. Our home is a water planet called Earth, which is cradled in a universe of incredible beauty, mystery, and unfolding drama. We now know that everything from the largest galaxy to the smallest particle is part of one unified, interconnected, interdependent whole. Each of us is important and unique. However, at this moment in history, we are being called to set aside narrow self-interests and to act with integrity, consciousness, and a spirit of goodwill. Recognizing our common destiny, we need to envision a world in which love becomes the prevailing human function, cooperating together with all cultures, races, nations and religions to become as wise and loving as the system that produced us. The time is right for us to make a change. LoveShift. Working together, we can make a difference.
Hello, John Birch for LoveShift, and today I'd like to make a quick video to show you the power of collective consciousness. Now, what I have here is a spreadsheet, and we call this also the power of Big C. And Big C is used to stand for collective consciousness. So in our formula, we're going to show you that the smaller c refers to individual consciousness, and the larger c, the exponent, refers to collective consciousness. So let me walk you through this, and the basis for this calculation is Albert Einstein's famous formula, E equals mc squared. And this is actually the formulation of the energy that we're going to be using to show the difference between associated consciousness and collectivized consciousness. So what we have down here in the middle is in the Neozoic era, when the consciousness has been grouped, when it's synergistic, when it's complex. You see the capital C is red right here. And down here in what we're going to call the Newtonian model, where the individual consciousnesses are personalized but they're not grouped, now we have the C red as a small c. So let me just start this model and show you what we've discovered, and I think you'll see why we're so excited. I'm going to now run the model up to 4 people. So there's 4 people in our study. Down here, we see that the number is 4, and we're going to see that it's 4 squared, 4 raised to the power of 2, and the value is 16. So in this situation, we're going to get the amount of energy equivalent to 16, whatever that is, 16 units of energy. Up here, we notice that it's actually the number 2 raised to the power of 4. Down here it's 4 raised to the power of 2. Here it's 2 raised to the power of 4. So you see what we're trying to demonstrate here is that in this case we're letting the collective consciousness be the variable, where down here it's the individual. Now we see that at 4 people in our group, there's the same amount of energy available. Let's take our group up to 5 people. Now, in the Newtonian model, where there isn't a complexification of the group, we have 25. Up here, 32. Let's run the model forward. We now have 10 people. 10 people in our group. Down here, 10 squared is 100. Up here, 2 raised to the power of 10 is 1,000. That's interesting. Watch these numbers again change. Excuse me. Here, this is the formula. Here is it changing. So watch the yellow as I move this from 0 to 10. You see how that's working? Okay. Now we're going to go past 10 to 20 people in our group. The associated 20 that are not working together, that are just additive, we wind up with a unit value of 400. Up here, where we are complexifying our consciousness, where we're sharing using Twitter and Facebook and smartphones and Gmail, whatever this is. All of this here is the collectivization of our consciousness, this new era. And we're very, very young in this. We're moving forward into this right now. It's a brand new phenomenon, how we're being able to associate our consciousness. But look what's happened. Up here, we're already up to 1 million. 400, 1 million. Only with 20 people in our group. Let's go up to 30. Okay, at 30 individuals, 900 versus 1 billion. Do you see why we're so excited? I would say myself that we're having a renaissance of consciousness and conscious energy as we become able more and more, almost daily, to collectivize our thought. We're no longer having individuals reading newspapers. We now have a viral world that's able to share thought almost instantaneously at the level of the group. This group was only 30 people. Let's keep going. Up we go. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, up to 100. Just 100 people who have figured out how to work together, how to share their thinking. Down here, 100 squared is 10,000. Up here, 2 raised to the power of 100 is an astronomically large amount of energy. And that's just 100. If you run this slider to 200, 300, 500, 1,000, this number becomes amazingly huge. I actually did this on a calculator that I found online in China. And I began to run this number up, 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 up. And when I got it above 1 million, the number became almost undecipherable. When I took it to 1 billion, which is 1 out of every 8 human beings approximately on Earth, the calculator returned the value of infinity. So we are on the threshold of an incredible moment here, and I'm suggesting that one of the things that we need to pay attention to is how much amazingly more we're able to do when we collectivize our thought. And this is a new area for the human, but it's just recent that we're able to actually share our thinking. I believe when Michael Jackson died, it was about 9 in the morning. By noon, I don't know a single person who didn't know that he had died. It happened that quickly. Things go viral. This is unexplored territory when it comes to making changes in the world. This is how we have been functioning for 2,000 years with newspapers and the way we speak one-to-one and then one-to-one and one-to-one. And this is now collective. Once again, watch the formula change. Look at the difference. So if you find this interesting, please go to www.loveshift.com and explore, and then consider becoming involved in how we figure out how to apply this to the problems that we face on Earth, because we certainly have problems. We certainly need energy, and we're in this together. So that's the Big C demonstration. The collective consciousness is now, we think, the independent variable. And thank you for watching.